What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building. This time I'm back with a recap of Married to Medicine. This is season 6, episode 1. Yes, baby, my motherfucking show is back on. I was so happy to watch this show. This is a good quality show. Very entertaining, very interesting. Pretty much, the episode starts out with, it looks like some foreshadowing was going on with the situation with Quad and the rest of the ladies. Because at first I was looking like, well, damn, is this live? Is this the show? Is this what's going on now? But I guess somewhere down the season this happens. There is a breakdown with the ladies and Quad is saying that the ladies on Sister Circle are more like her friends than the Married to Medicine ladies, and all the Married to Medicine ladies feel some type of way about that. And we're going to get off into how Quad is acting more throughout the episode. But yeah, that is pretty much where Quad is with everybody. She's not really talking to anybody. She's going through this divorce with Dr. G. It's very painful and hurtful. So, episode starts out with all the couples pretty much talk about Quad and Greg and what's going on in their marriage as far as Greg cheating. Remember the lady that he said he didn't even do nothing with. He ended up leaving, but this same lady is selling stories to the tabloids saying he got a pinky-sized dick and they had oral sex and, this, that, and the third. All the couples are talking about it. Toya and Eugene, they're talking about it. Eugene don't want to really too much hear it or believe it. Cecil is the same way. The women is reading it. It's just a big ass mess. And it's really sad. But I'm not surprised because that motherfucking Quad and Dr. Eugene, honey, had a very eventful season last year. I've been taking care of you since the day I met you. When he said that, I knew all hell was gonna break loose that season. Symone, where the fuck you been at? She talking about she didn't know when the man gave the woman oral sex that she didn't know it was called head. Bitch, where you been at? Oh, damn. Country bumpkin. That motherfucker Symone is country as hell. Okay, so let's talk about Jackie and Curtis as they're talking about the situation with Quad and Greg. Jackie is saying that she knows how Quad feels because she went through it with Curtis. And, Quad feels like she's on an island by herself. I kind of feel like Quad created that. I like Quad, you guys. Quad don't take no shit. Quad knows what she's worth. I like that part of Quad. But there's also a side of Quad to where she feels too good to share her shit. And you may say, well, she going through a hard time. She don't want to share everything. And I understand that. But when it was Jackie sat in her shit and allowed everybody to be there for her. So, Quad, why you can't do the same? And I know you're embarrassed, but if Quad is anything, she's a very proud person. And I feel like that gets in the way of people being able to be there for her. It's just something about her that's very braggadocious and I'm too good to even be going through certain stuff. And yeah, she shouldn't have to go through this. But it's just like, if it was, Quad never minds it if it's on somebody else. She's one of those people. And I don't really care for those type of people. Because they all came together for Jackie and Jackie allowed them to do that. And with her, it's just, oh, I don't want to share with nobody. Oh, I don't want to do this. And I believe it was some shit that went down last season where they was all getting on her. And she didn't like that shit. She don't like to be called out. She don't mind calling other people out. But I don't think herself, she's not mature like that. That motherfucker Mariah telling Aiden, I don't even want you driving past no hotel room. Give me your phone. I was just cracking the fuck up. That Mariah, honey, she knows she got Aiden in check, honey. He just sit there, do what she say. My boyfriend brought that up. He said they got a good relationship because that motherfucking Mariah be ordering him around. He just do whatever Mariah want him to do. And that's true, but shit, that works for them, honey. Did y'all check out Quad's bed? Her bed is nice as fuck. I love that motherfucking headboard. I was like, you better do that, bitch. You know what was interesting when they went back and showed a clip from 5 years ago where Dr. G was telling Quad that she had really been holding him down and he's going to give her all that he has. And she said, oh, that's so sweet. I'm going to get to it early. But what happened in this marriage is this. And it's nothing really out of the ordinary. It's at a place where this was going to happen. Sometimes we grow with people for as long as we can, and then it's time for us to be our own people and go off on our own. As I'm looking at Quad, she's a completely different person. She looked like she submitted a little bit more, to him back when they first was married. Whereas now she's more outspoken. And ain't nothing wrong with that because women, I don't believe you need to submit to a man. I don't give a fuck if he is your husband, if he's not treating you right. Ain't no point in doing that. So I'm with her with that. She probably don't want to be that way with him no more. But I do feel like when it comes to their story, he was the breadwinner. He's the one that had the money. She didn't really have too much of nothing. Her thing was more or less, I'm going to grow and build myself on this show, get all the opportunities I can, start my own business, get out here, meet more people. Now mission accomplished. I done did that. Now she doesn't really have nothing in common with him because their whole dynamic was for him to take care of her. Remember, he told us, I've been taking care of you since the day I met you. He didn't say that for no reason. He said that because in his eyes, that's what he's been doing for years. And now he felt threatened. That's why he brought it up, that she didn't really need him. Remember, she went on and bought that expensive ass car, truck, I should say. So, yeah, just the dynamic of their relationship has broke down as far as it could go. And now it's time for them to go on, their separate ways. And yes, it's painful and we're all watching it. But yeah, they can't go on because they're two different people now. You could just see it. So Quad is pretty much talking in this voiceover about the type of man that she thought she would marry. And, she feels like I have the opposite of that. I never wanted to be in this place. And nobody does, Quad, honey. It's just a learning experience. You're going to be fine. You're going to get through it. And I feel like if you open up and allow your friends to be there for you, hopefully we get off into that because there may be a good reason why she don't trust some of the ladies. And Mariah and maybe somebody else, it's, a reason why, because I know she really shares her business with Symone and Jackie, them kind of more or less her girls. I think she could kind of take her leave Toya, and she could kind of take and leave Mariah. I really do feel like that. And I kind of don't know where her and Heavenly is, but I do know Quad has had some distrust for them, especially, I believe, last season. But yeah, I could tell that Dr. G, he's just one of them misogynistic type men where the women is supposed to submit and give him a baby. It was a big deal that she didn't give him a baby. I'm strongly against her having a baby with him, and times are bad like this, before the divorce. You don't bring a baby into a relationship where the motherfucker falling apart. I'm strongly against that. But people was like, well, she should have did it when they were happy. It's really up on the woman. It really is, because she wants to, because once you have that baby, your life slows down, and she probably didn't want her life to slow down like that. Some people want to really build their career, and I don't blame her for that now that I really think about that. Quad says that it was very painful to see because gossip that the lady put out in the blogs about her messing around with her husband. I think the lady is trashy as hell to know that the man is married and be messing with him. You got a lot of fucked up women out in the world that do that nasty shit. So her and Dr. G, they're still both living in the house. She said she's moved out of the master bedroom into the guest room, and she said that they don't talk much because she always feel on edge, like, you know, they about 2 minutes from an argument, and, you know, I don't blame her, but at this point, honey, it's just time to go to a hotel. It's just really sad, you know, just seeing him and her in the same house. They're not talking, they're not, you know, on the same page. Did y'all see Quad say, hey, she said, hey, to Dr. G as she was walking out. He just sat there. I ain't hear him say shit. I was like, damn. They show him rushing out the door, too. It's just sad. So, honey, Toya got Eugene at some damn trampoline workout place. Eugene just need to get his ass on a damn treadmill and call it a day. Just get your ass on a good treadmill, do a light sprint every day to get started. Then as time, you know, as the weeks roll by, increase your speed. And I feel like he could get that weight off. I think he said he done lost about 40 pounds, which is good. He looks a lot better. So Toya tells Eugene that she really hasn't heard too much from Quad. Last time she talked to Quad, Quad said, well, I got to get ready to go and tape with my real friends. She was some of her real friends at the Sister Circle, honey. And that was some shade because she's been on this show for a while with them. But she probably don't feel like that about them. Something has happened. So hopefully we get down into what happened. Toya feels like Quad is just feeling herself, and I thought it was interesting when she brought up, well, we're taking a back seat to her now, and I guess her marriage is too. Her marriage ain't taking no back seat. Her marriage is in the fucking back seat, bitch. Where you at? Shit. She can't be with that misogynistic motherfucker. And don't get me wrong, y'all, I kind of like Dr. G because he's funny. I do think the shit he does is... Not the shit he does. The shit he says is funny. The shit he was saying last year. He had a few times, honey. He got a good kiki out of me. But he is disrespectful and misogynistic towards his wife. He is. We cannot ignore that. So why the fuck, Toya, would she be focused on somebody that's treating her in a fucked up manner and got a mistress saying what happened between them? I mean, I wouldn't be fucking with him. I wouldn't even be in the house, honestly. Okay, so Contessa is dealing with the fact that she's pretty much like a stay-at-home mom. And she kind of works part-time, too. Because I think she said if she didn't work part-time, she would go crazy. And I would, too, all them damn kids. Y'all be having all these kids, and then when it's finally time to fucking deal with them, you don't even want to fucking be bothered. I will never understand why people have 3 and 4 kids and then barely can like fucking handle them. It was just like you should have stayed at fucking 2 or 1, you know? But anyways, that one little girl, Layla, she probably would have got her ass beat by me. Yes, she would. I think Contessa said, well, Layla, I need you to sit down. You know, she's making pancakes and bacon and stuff for the kids before they go to school. And she's like, Layla, will sit down. And Layla, I don't want to, mommy. I would have walked away from that skillet. What you don't feel like doing, Layla? And if she would have got to saying I would spank her damn hand, take her in the back, whoop that ass. You ain't too young to get your little ass beat. You know, you gotta stop that shit early, Contessa. You don't allow these children to be talking to you any kind of way. I'm one of them parents, honey, when I ask your ass to do it, you better be getting up like you excited to do what the fuck I told you to do. You're anxious to get to it. That's how I am. You know, that no-nonsense old school parent. That's me. So next we got my couple, honey. Old Cecil and Symone. That Cecil, no, he is fine, honey. Sorry, Miss Symone, you know. No disrespect, but Cecil looked nice in his suit, honey. He came to bring his woman some flowers. I guess she's the boss wherever she's at now. And it was funny because he said, well, I feel like you always think you the boss, but you really the boss when I walk up in here, you know. And I was so tickled by that. I am so happy that these two decided to give their marriage another chance. It was just so painful watching them go through all of that last season, but I loved how their friends all stepped in. That just that was so amazing how everybody looked up to them and loved them so much to want them to work their relationship out. Because Symone said it. She was just like, we could have been divorced if it wasn't for our friends really stepping in and intervening like that. So she said she's grateful for them for doing that. Did y'all catch Dr. Symone looking like Sanaya Lathan in her, with her long weave? I said, girl, you better do it. I like her with the long weave, and I hope she keeps it like that. It looks really pretty on her. So with Cecil and Symone, they've been in counseling, and they show that the counselor said that, he wants them living together. He said special things happen to people that are married when they live in the same house. And I agree. Shit, y'all could have some fucking sex and let go of the bullshit. Symone is not really with it. She's saying she still needs some time to process things, between her and Cecil. I think she still has a lot of anger and resentment, and she said that, it's not going to happen overnight. Symone, you ain't shit. You go tell Cecil his flowers expire around midnight. He need to bring some more peace offerings. He trying to get into bed with you, honey. I will say this with them. I'm happy they are in a better place where they could joke and laugh. But I'm going to say this, Symone, woman to woman. And this is coming from a woman that's not even married. But I have been in a long-term relationship. And one of the things that I have learned is you gonna have to forgive even when you don't feel like it. You gonna have to have sex when you don't feel like it. That's the only way to make sure it's done. I feel like her and Jackie, they both have this thing in common where work, work, work. You don't have to tell them to work. They're so dedicated to their work. They don't have that same attitude in their marriage. It's kind of like when it comes to their marriage, it's an option. Well, I could. Well, maybe. They got to think about it. They don't think about it when it comes to their careers because they're really dedicated. So they need to get like that in their marriages. Especially you, Symone. I do see Jackie softening a little bit. A lot of people will say, well, Jackie shouldn't soften because Curtis ain't shit. I like Curtis. He's not perfect. He fucked up. He really did with his old milk dud head ass. But, they're working things out, and who am I to judge? I love when people can work some shit out because relationships are very hard. I be sitting up here looking like I didn't know relationships was this fucking hard. But yeah, Symone needs to soften. Symone needs to put on some lingerie, not them funky ass clothes she be wearing. She needs some type of stylist or something. Put something sexy on. Go on to Victoria's Secret. Have sex. That's going to... I think that's going to loosen things up between them and make them feel more intimate. And I get what she's saying. Well, I don't want to just jump in a bed and then, I'm still having issues with trust. And, you're still going to have resentment and all of that. You got to work through it. You got to put in the work and you got to drop them draws. So give him some of that cootie cat, girl. You drop on that vitamin D. What Beyonce say, you get on that. And y'all get to moving some shit around and fucking all over that house. You gotta do that in a relationship. I'm telling you, it's gonna break the ice. You don't need to communicate every little thing. Yes, you want to communicate, but shit, you gotta do some fucking too. That's gonna help. I'm telling y'all. Okay, so next we got Dr. Jackie. She is seeing this patient named Dawn, who is also a life coach. And pretty much Jackie lets her know everything is fine with her. I guess the lady has some fibroids too. I was a little concerned about that. But anyways, Jackie tells her about her and Curtis, because I believe this was the same lady that was inquiring about them last year. And she says, we're back on the same page. We are spending more time together. They showed us some clips through the weeks of them spending time together. And I am happy that they are back on the right page and are in the same fucking book with each other. That's really good. You could tell that Jackie learned a lot from going through all of that with Curtis. Curtis has learned as well, and they are working things out. She said that there are still some days where, she has doubts. And, I think it was one time where she asked Curtis where he was at, and he put a in there before he told her where he was at. And Jackie was like, I feel like he's lying. She kind of said it to herself. And, she was having doubts about that. And then the lady Dawn was just like, well, that's normal. You are still getting over the betrayal, the hurt, the resentment. So it just comes with time. Take your time. It's completely normal and everything will be fine with you. So Symone is talking to her counselor. Y'all remember the counselor that they had when they was out of town? Where was they in? Was they in Barbados, I believe? The lady came down. Anyways, Symone gets on the phone with her, talking to her about how it's been hard for her to have sex with Cecil. Cecil really wants it, but she herself, she has some struggles. She says she still feels sexy, but it's still, I have issue with sexual expression. So the lady says, well, how your friends been doing in their relationships? And, we could all get together and everybody come in leather and lace and, we could have a bigger conversation about it, which I feel like is a really good idea. Symone is down for it, and that's that. So next we have Dr. Heavenly, my girl, and Dr. Damon. Don't that damn Heavenly call her man daddy with every question, with every sentence? It's daddy, daddy. I said, girl. I call my man daddy too, though. So I can't get on her. But Heavenly had mentioned that everything that's been going on with Quad has been really messed up, and she feels really bad for her, and she's mad that she tried to call Quad and get in touch with her, let her know she's there for her, and there has been no response. Quad has not wanted to be bothered with her. She don't understand what's going on. She feels like Quad needs to let her and the other ladies be there for her during this tough time, and I agree. So, Heavenly, you my girl and all, but I'm so sick of you and the spiritual journey that you on. I feel like you gonna be on it for the rest of your life, girl. Then she mentions she asked her husband, well, do you think I'm mean, Daddy? Because some people say I'm mean, and, oh, Daddy, you think I'm mean? Because he paused. I'm just looking like, Heavenly, you got a mouth on you, bitch. You say whatever. And I find Heavenly to be very funny. I like Heavenly. Even though I feel like she's full of shit sometimes. I feel like all of them is, but I like her. She's funny and she's likable to me. But then she brings up Jewel Tanker. I'm like, no, I can't get with that. Ain't that show with Jewel Tanker and her family supposed to be coming on? Anyways, I'm just like, I'm not in the mood to see her and Jewel talking about her journey. And like, girl, you either trying to change or you not. Obviously, you're not, because you haven't yet. And let's move on. You know you're going to keep being shady, Heavenly. Mariah and Aiden are funny. She had Aiden help her with something that was near her titty. I don't know what the fuck she was doing, putting makeup on, and he was like, oh, you teasing? And he was like, well, why am I getting teased? She was like, why not? I was cracking the fuck up. That shit was funny. Okay, so we're at the party for Symone, this leather and lace party, and it's really set up really pretty. There's men there greeting her and Heavenly. They the first ones to get there with flowers. Did y'all like Symone's purple boots? They was alright, I guess. They was cute. So they playing with the toys, Symone and Heavenly, and Symone picks up a damn vibrator, and she was like, well, is Dr. Damon, he this big? And then, y'all know Heavenly didn't like that. She shot back at her. Well, is Cecil, do you even remember how big Cecil is? I was cracking the fuck up. Shady, shady, shady. Heavenly was shading the hell out of Symone, saying, I don't get why she even want to do this. Why is she even playing with this type of stuff? You got to get busy and have sex to even do any of this. And I agree. Symone is just dry, honey, like the Sahara. So the lady, Tiffany, the counselor lady, she's going to be helping them. She arrives, and then Contessa arrives. Did y'all catch Contessa in her motherfucking confessional saying, I am so glad, honey, Symone is having this party. I've been dying in mommy mode. Honey, we all been there, stressed out from these damn kids. Need an adult break. I done been there, so I sympathize with her on that. Honey, Mariah shows up as dominatrix, honey. She got her a whip. She said she didn't come to play with you hoes. And she is in charge of the girls, honey. She came with her whip. And I thought it was a sexy, nice outfit. I like how her and Heavenly, kind of joked. And she said, am I a 10? And Heavenly was like, no, honey, you more like 36. And then Mariah was like, 24, 36. I liked all of that. But then, of course, we know shit ends up getting ugly. Heavenly gets into the situation with her and Mariah and how she drew Mariah's picture. Mariah made a big deal. And I agree. Mariah, you made a big deal out of that. Yes, she disrespected your shit. Yes, it was wrong, but I felt like you should have moved on. So Symone gets started by letting them know that Toya may not be coming because her son hit his head and it won't stop bleeding. And then Quad, she left a voicemail for her. Quad ain't answering her phone and she thinks she may be busy with Sister Circle. So they get to talking about Symone and how it's been difficult for her to have sex because there's been so much resentment. Contessa was just like, well, can't you still fuck your husband even though you mad? And then Heavenly jumped in and was just like, yeah, I done had the best sex, when I've been upset. You get all that anger and frustration out. And I'm with them. You have to just do it. I wish she would stop acting like everything is medical school. Get your naked ass in that bed, hop on that dick, and let's make it rain, okay? And I'm also with Mariah. Mariah said men are very physical and, you just need to fuck your husband. And that's true. Symone says she wants an emotional human being. She's tired of dealing with a rock. I understand that, Symone, but you are a rock as well. You're not, and I'm not saying she has to be that, but she does need to integrate being softer in her personality. She does come off as guarded, as bossy, controlling. So she has to, as a woman, initiate that. And then I feel like Cecil will more or less follow suit. But if you keep acting like the big bad wolf and you keep, not having sex and, keep trying to control stuff, it's not going to work. Did y'all catch that part where Symone has said that she didn't want to have sex with her husband and Jackie was pretty much agreeing with her? And it was something about when Contessa said what she said. She was like, oh, you just can't fuck your husband. You just can't have sex with it. And Jackie, no. That's why both of you bitches have had the problems in your relationship because y'all don't know how to value y'all relationship. I'm not saying they need to just submit and bow down to their men. And, I'm not saying that. There's a way to be respectful towards your man, but still get along with him, be a little bit softer and have sex, and both of them, they have that same issue. So I thought that was interesting when Jackie jumped in like that. Yes, Dr. Heavenly, she said, it works for me. I'm going to give it to my man every time he want it. What? I feel you, Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, old freak. Because the counselor lady has said, sometimes as women, our sex light may be turned off and his may be turned on. You may not want to do it. And Heavenly was like, shit, as soon as my man wanted, I'm giving it to him. And I'm with her on that. But Jackie and Symone, they're very different. They don't see it like that. And no, I'm not having sex if my man fuck up real bad with me. I'm not doing. But for the most part, I don't have those issues. So look, them draws can always come off, honey. Jackie says she understands Symone because the healing process has been really tough for her. She says some days she's in, some days she's out. I told y'all that both of them are very similar, and honestly, they need to be listening to what Heavenly is saying. Her shit is working right. And yes, Jackie and Symone are different. And it's fine for them to be different. But even though you are a different type of person, you still have to integrate certain characteristics in your being and in your relationship to make your relationship work. You can't just keep putting your relationship on a back burner, because then both of you guys will end up right where you was at. So Heavenly gets to apologizing, honey, with Mariah, because she says she learned something from Jackie where you don't treat people the way that they treat you. So she does her little apology with Mariah and says, she's sorry. She drew on Mariah's poster. She pulls out the poster. Mariah is not having it. Mariah is all in her motherfucking feelings about the poster. Oh, that's not a good picture of me. Oh my God. Doing all her overreacting, acting a fool. The picture wasn't good, though. I will say that heavily. Mariah was like, I was 25 pounds heavier. This is not my best side. This is not a good picture of me. And I agree. But at the same time, Mariah, you need to stop being so petty and just let the shit go. So, honey, she ends up walking out, running into that damn Toya, and it was just crazy. Oh, before she ended up outside, Mariah with Toya, she told Heavenly she could kiss her ass, and anybody that's with you on this fake ass spiritual journey that you on can kiss my ass too. Honey, I was so motherfucking weak. And that motherfucking Heavenly, oh my gosh, she get to saying to her, well, your teeth look nice. And oh my God, and Mariah, well, yes they do. And then Heavenly got to Mariah's husband about his small dick. Mariah didn't like that, honey. Shot back and said that Damon has been cheating on Heavenly, and she knows all type of women that's been with Damon. Do I believe that shit? No. Damon appears to be a very good man. I'm not saying he's incapable of straying, but I don't get that vibe from Damon the way I have the rest of these men on this show. I could see it in Dr. G, and I could see it, Curtis, certain stuff about them you could kind of see. I don't get that at all from Damon. Honey, they arguing, calling each other bitches, and it was just a mess. Okay, so Toya comes in, and Mariah comes back in with her. They end up sitting down, and they end up asking about, Toya asked where Quad was, and Symone told Toya Quad couldn't make it. She believes she's filming her show, and they really haven't too much heard from her. Then they get off into Quad and Dr. G's marriage versus Jackie's, and Toya had also mentioned that, we're all married. We all share very intimate things about our marriage, and she doesn't really want to talk about hers. And then Jackie was like, well, everybody don't want to talk about it. Contessa jumped in too. Well, would you share all of that if that was going on? Yes, all of that is very embarrassing. But like I mentioned to you guys before, it was all good when it was Jackie. Quad was sitting up there with Dr. G talking about Jackie shit. Now they're all doing the same thing to her ass. So now that it's on her, and Quad strikes me as one of them people, when it's on her, she don't want to talk. She ain't got shit to say. And she don't have to really fully go into no details, because they gonna believe whatever they want to believe from these motherfucking blogs. But at the same time, let your friends be there for you during this time. You don't have to be alone. This whole episode, Quad kept saying she feels so alone. Let them be there for you. Quad mentions in the bathroom as she's praying towards the end of the episode, she feels like her friends are very judgmental. It's a very judgmental environment. But bitch, you was judging too when it wasn't on you. You judged Cecil and Symone's situation. You judged Jackie and Curtis's situation. You had a lot to say about that. So what makes you think now that the tides have turned and it's on you, people ain't gonna have shit to say? So until Quad can kind of reconcile with that and be more real, then I can't fuck with her like that. I still somewhat like her, but like I said, y'all, there are parts that I don't care for. All right, I didn't rambled on long enough. This is way longer than I wanted it to be. I want to try to shorten these, but I was excited, honey. This was the first episode of Married to Medicine. You guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share my videos in the Facebook groups. And I will talk with you guys later.